Today we organized the 17th edition of Zzondag, an afternoon with an exhibition, a lecture program, food, drinks and conversations with artists. And this edition focused on art which alludes to Hollywood.
We've invited artists that allude to Hollywood, so they work with the language or the grammar of Hollywood or the cinema. And it's not necessarily just images or actions, they also allude to aspects like montage or editing or set design and special effects. Those are all taken from the language of Hollywood, and they are used to address other topics.
I mainly do installation works, sometimes in combination with video or live performance. Most of my work is about architecture and film, or architecture in film, and how, for instance, camera movement and editing can influence or your experience of the architecture. Most of my installation works are based on existing film material, on existing footage. The work I'm showing here, it's a work. Well, it's actually my only work that is called Untitled. It looks a bit like a neoclassical piece of architecture, but it's all made of cardboard and paint, and it has a small door through which you can enter to the other side. So it functions a bit like maybe the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland. It's a portal to the other side, to another place.
I'm showing my graduation work in a more condensed form at this exhibition. It was a performance project. I called it found fiction. I was investigating somehow found behavior, as opposed to, let's say that entertainment is something that you seek out and then you go to, and I wanted to reverse that experience with an audience, so that the entertainment would come to you at various moments. And I worked with amateur actors, and we were staging together scenes from Hollywood movies, which we adapted to the architecture of the Ritual building. In a way, I wanted to insert these scenes as a traveling montage. For me, it was to sort of confront people with some kind of action that looked fictional, but that it also, since it was so close to the audience and you experience it at a very proximate level, I was curious to see the reaction and what kind of empathy which could arise from this kind of behavior.
I'm showing an animation in a sort of landscape projection from a series of works that I'm still working on, in which the special effects takes the role of the protagonist. I work a little bit with, it's sort of like an after image of sorts, so it's like this, you have this super iconic image of a meteor, and a recognizable image of a meteor or a flood or whatever that is like the residue or the memory that you have that is left over after you watch a movie or something. And I started to build with these images, started to recreate them in a way to shape that memory. I've never seen an actual meteor, of course, or really not that close up like you see in the movies, but yet you still have a very strong visual reference and you think you know what it's like. So around this I try to make my work.
I'm a filmmaker since a long time, and I'm working together with Joël de Bruin. It can be in film, and it can be in photographs, and it can be in sound. But most of the time it is in subtitling the reality. I have some angry, but angry it's a hard word, to the general way of speaking in images what Hollywood films are doing. Artists in history have done a lot of things to change that, and I'm attracted to all those people who've tried to change all those laws, from Buñuel, Dali, till Warhol, till all kind of experimental filmmakers, to people who think, well, it's as well as an individual experience, and it hasn't to be that general and not that cliché, what film normally is.
Cinema as such, as a medium, it's sometimes been called the seventh art, in the idea that cinema is very apt at making connections to other arts. So that maybe that's one of the things that's so striking about cinema, that it's borrowing elements from other arts, but also then can be reworked by those other arts itself. That as if there is all So there has sometimes been a notion what is the purity of art, but now we have moved much more in in rethinking notions of impurity of art, and then cinema can be of much help to artists, I guess.